DJ Tre, and I am here. I always want to say I'm here with some of my nearest and dearest friends because I listen to Joe Budden. Shout out to Sultan of Sicko. But I'm here with with some of the homies, and I let them introduce themselves. To my left, we have
A1 to LP.
To my right,
okay.
I was gonna go to the circle.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Everybody there face.
You're right.
Let's start. Let me start. All right. So I'm A1. I no longer the LP's dropped. I'm just A1.
A1.
Why you dropped the LP?
I don't rap no more.
What?
Oh, come on.
Oh, we
doing this. Let's get into it. First of all, before we get to everybody else,
I think you start changing some handles then. You know what I'm saying? Some handles then.
The handles never change.
So you are A1 to LP. We talked about this last podcast. That in your day you were quite the little rapper. According to some people, you had a little season where you were on a feature tear. Where you on a feature tear, and when we see you with the opticals, we say, hey, look at this manager, whatever. But he got bars.
Yeah.
So go check out Romans 10:9. Part two. Check out Blood Diamond.
First Amendment mixtape.
Oh man, Promises.
Yeah, that was
the original Soul Food.
That one was dope.
I don't know a lot of Christian hip hop songs.
Bag 'em.
Sorry, I can't really.
Bag 'em was fire.
Love. I didn't really like his verse one back.
Oh yeah, well, shit, I'm saying it's okay. It's okay.
But I will say this on your mixtape. I remember it was the first Saturdays. I took somebody's mixtape, your mixtape from somebody. Went out to the car in the middle of the first Saturday and listened to it. I was like, man, this dude can rap a little bit. Then I realized, like, dude, I never knew I left me the last CD I heard. So that's probably why I listen. Like, I will listen more intensely if I would know
that was it.
This was it.
Yeah. One and done. Wrap it up.
One and done.
I am Robert Coppage.
So you're not Tre Cop. Okay.
Man,
Robert
I'm Robert
Coppage.
Coppage, man. Bobby C, if you coming to see me do comedy. I'm an actor, storyteller, entrepreneur. Just a pretty much phenomenal man. So yeah, just introducing myself. Just had to go ahead and let y'all know.
All right. Note to self: introduce the guest next time. Don't let them introduce themselves.
Don't let me run
because people start down, right?
Yeah.
Don't let me
Don't let the guest introduce. That's what happened. You learn.
Yes.
You
because
learn.
I am the man, the myth, and the legend. Introduce myself.
I messed up. I didn't know. I learned.
The guy everyone's been asking for. Don't make me do it. Like, I don't want to do this. But
I didn't know.
Man.
I didn't know.
Man, it's your boy Los, man. Check out Sandwiches Podcast plug.
Yeah.
Check out DaLosFactor.
Yeah.
A16.blogspot.com for the blogs. And I'm everywhere. Holla at me.
Yeah. So,
man,
this is gonna
Don't let me introduce myself.
This is gonna be
because I do too much and I know.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. Okay, so you two, both the Loses, both the Carloses, actually do podcasts that I actually listen to and rather enjoy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm blatantly going to steal a segment from each of your podcasts.
Okay, that's cool. Like I said, man.
Yeah.
Hope that works out for
Yeah,
you.
okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When you go hit.
I hope it works out.
All right.
And,
I want to go around and we'll go in a circle like we did last time. And I just want to hear what you learned this week. Okay, so I'll start off. You've done it before, right?
Okay,
so what I learned this week is that I am not the guy to look to co-sign you in public. Let me explain. So I go to a gas station, just going in and get some gas, go buy some gum. There was a guy in there of African American descent.
Okay.
Was getting into it with the owner, and they was arguing about something. I don't know what they was arguing about, but they were going back and forth. He was getting loud, the owner was getting loud or whatever. And then the dude looked at me like, yo, he tripping, right? Like they crazy. And I'm just like, I'm here to get gum. I want no parts of what's happening here. Don't look at me. And especially if you wildin', because it's happened before. Like I've been in a subject like where somebody is clearly in the wrong, but because we share the same hue of skin tone, like you look to me to co-sign your ridiculousness, or expect me if something goes down, like you looking at me like, okay, everybody been there. You counting the room like, okay, if something pop off, I got 1, 2, okay, there's one over there. I'll be okay. Yeah, no, that's. Don't look to me for that. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. So if you see me in the store, don't count me. I put my hand down. That's what I learned this week.
See, everybody that's your skin ain't your kin, I think is what we learned about. That's what we learned.
Not me.
When it goes down, do not count on you.
Did you do this on 2 Tres and 2 Carlos? Because that's weird, man. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Wow, I did not think about that, but that is terrible.
Whoa,
that is.
He planned that, bro.
I didn't.
You don't just happen to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
All right, man. What I learned this week, I was not expecting to be put on the spot like this, with my own segment at that. So man, what I learned this week, baseball still has a problem with swag. It has a problem with people being different. Our Royals took on the White Sox. Tim Anderson, I believe he's second baseman, shortstop for the White Sox. He jacks a home run. He turns around. He tosses the bat. Says something to his people. Goes around the bases, scores. Next time up, Brad Keller, the Royals, hits him with the pitch.
Yeah.
He gets ejected for doing nothing, for getting hit. I mean, he got hit. He gets ejected. Mm-hmm. Then it turns out he gets suspended 1 game for using a racial slur towards a white person. So when I first saw that, I thought, I'm like, I didn't think that like cracker or like hunky was like technically a slur, right? So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. They said towards the pitcher.
Yeah.
Comes to find out, he called him, I'm trying to keep it family friendly. He called him the N-word.
He called him neighbor. All right. Yeah.
Something like that. Something like that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and so he was suspended 1 game for that, which I do understand why MLB would do that, because just imagine if the roles were reversed.
Yeah, but
what would go down? But
I'm not on the reverse racism bandwagon.
But I'm not saying it's. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it's a reverse racism thing. Yeah. You can't allow anyone to say that to whether he said it to another black person, Dominican, whatever.
First of all, I'm trying to get my racism in check because I can't tell some of the Dominicans apart. I can't do it. Like I'm trying to. If I look at Jorge Soler, I'm like. He's from off Quindero, but no, he's definitely Dominican. And I digress.
But anyway, you know what I'm saying? So, baseball, like, they have this program or this ad campaign running right now talking about let the boys play. And if you're going to have that ad campaign running, hey, man, let that man pimp out his home run. Like, hitting the baseball, top 2, one of the hardest things to do in sports. And so if it was...
What else is...
Well, I was getting ready top 2, but it's not 2, is what I was getting ready to say.
Oh,
he was setting himself up.
Yeah, I'm setting it up. I immediately jumped in.
I really jumped in like, bro, because I was upset that there wasn't one. I was really upset like, bro, what's harder than that? So, and I have to let you cook.
The only thing that comes close to that to me is playing hockey. Just because you're on skates, you gotta stick. You gotta skate, but you got people trying to hit you. Why you trying to focus and concentrate and aim at the same time?
I'm not prepared to give hockey that type of recognition.
I understand that. And
they wear like gloves.
They're wearing gloves. Yeah. But again, hitting the baseball, hardest thing to do in sports. And if it was me, y'all would be glad I ain't playing sports. I told you what I would do on your post yesterday.
Yeah. Right.
I'm a soldier boy. Tell him at first base. I'm gonna hit my Dougie at the second one. I'm gonna hit them folks on the third, and then I'm gonna 8-time stomp at home plate. And then look at you and dare you to say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have the hand-eye coordination to hit a baseball, so if I can hit one 400 feet, I'm gonna act a fool every time.
Now this is what I I am okay with, the bat flip or whatever. Let them play. However, I'm also okay with you needing the ice pack after you did that. Like, I'm okay with it both ways. If you know that these are unwritten rules or whatever, you knew what you were getting yourself into. It isn't like it just came up, out the blue. So if you gonna do that, which I think you should. You know what I'm saying? If the pitcher feels a certain type of way about it and make you, duck a little bit, then hey,
man, listen,
I'm with it.
Listen, the best revenge is beating him. So he comes back up to the plate, you strike him out, and then you just look at him, give him that look, tell him what's up. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get your revenge. You don't throw it somewhere. Well, because I can't come out there at the bat. If he hit me and I come out there at the bat, then I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm overreacting because you hit me with a ball. But anyway, that's what I learned this week. Baseball still has a problem with swag.
All right. This is the circle. I learned that procrastination is not good. I learned, but it wasn't necessarily from personal. Maybe it was personal experience. All right, so I do a lot of things. As all of us at this table, we do a lot of things. And so I realized that, like, some of the things that I'm planning on doing for the future, I'm like dead halting them and just focusing full on some other things. But I actually do have time to do more. I could do more, but everybody already looking at me like I'm crazy. But I feel like I'm procrastinating. So that's what I've come to. I just started reading a book called Richest Man in Babylon. And I started doing a self-evaluation. I was like, yo, am I procrastinating? I ain't rich yet, so I must be procrastinating. Something ain't hitting right. So yeah, that's what I learned this week.
I feel like that was a somewhat bragging about like what you're trying to do in life. Like, I don't know if that was like I don't know how to say it. Like, yeah, I do a lot, but I could do more, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of stuff on the plate, you know what I'm saying? But I can do this, and I'm reading this book of Rich. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. Just go ahead.
No. To make it fair, I ain't reading it. I'm listening on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
We're good. Here's some reassurance. He's the only one that feels like that.
You know what I'm saying? Here's some reassurance. That's a heel problem.
All right, cool. He projects.
Yeah. Obviously, he has something in his heart that he gotta fix. So you're good.
Yeah. So I want to let you know that.
Okay.
Oh wow. This is going left already. I don't know if I chose the right people.
I don't know. I'm just saying, no one felt that.
Go ahead.
But yes, what I learned today. I learned that if you are not in your kid's life, somebody will step in your kid's life and get a bag. That's what I learned. I learned if you're not in your kid's life, somebody will step in your kid's life and get a bag.
Okay. Wow.
And I will tell you like that. That's what I learned.
Wow.
If you have kids out there that you're not taking care of, don't get mad when somebody else gets your kid and go get a bag. That's what I gotta learn.
That's great.
If you so happen,
It's all about
if you so happen to be listening to this, know that, hey man, you're gonna have to step it up, bro. You might want to start playing Powerball. You might want to like the I don't know what your money stacks look like. It's already in your pocket. But man, Russell Wilson has got a bag with your kid, like
all in the fixture.
Listen, that kid. I wish my life could be as happy as that kid looked. That kid looks so happy, and I'm just like, you know what? I mean, hey, that's a happy family.
But it make it worse because Russell Wilson just seems so unassuming. Like,
he's just a nice guy.
He just seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Now Sierra knows what she's doing. Sierra right next to Russell, boy.
Yeah.
Sierra knows what she's doing.
He wouldn't have got that without her.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you, man. Hey, so that's what I learned. I learned that. Hey,
that is
that's real life.
That is great.
Hey, Future, man, you need to drop like Thriller and Purple Rain and All Eyes on Me back to back to kind of even up the odds. Because right now,
I love it.
You getting blown out at the half.
I love it.
You getting blown
need
out.
it all. You need it all.
All right, quick thing. Quick thing. So, this is what I've been doing, and when we watch it again, you might notice. So I want to say it first. I have been like, there have been times where I've been talking, and I've looked into the mic as it's the camera. And so now I've done that so many times, I feel really embarrassed because I'm like, yeah, boy, I'm like, bro, this is mic. So the last time I did it, I just kind of noticed. We're okay. Let's just keep going because it's obviously not a big deal.
Oh, right, I definitely booked the wrong people for this podcast.
Yeah, you did.
This is great.
It's too early for this. It's too early.
So I've stolen a segment from your podcast.
All right.
So let me steal a segment from the Same Difference podcast.
Hey yo, Wendy L. I told him not to do it.
I got it because I have never submitted my own.
Okay.
I need to submit my petty peeve.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a big one too.
Yes.
Hey, she gonna get you because you ain't never been to a live. She done had.
I did. I went to the live show.
I
went to the first live show.
Okay.
I went to the first live show.
But she gonna buy. You wasn't at the last one though.
I did one at the last one. D1 was the only male representation there, and he did.
Reese came through late. Reese came through late.
Help. No, I just listened.
Oh,
but I actually listened to the podcast. I actually listened to the podcast. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is.
You're not faithful listener.
Well, you know, but I do listen.
To my plans.
But I definitely haven't been there. You know what I'm saying? So don't.
Yeah.
I'm not even.
But I need to like get up on like your social stuff so I can like know when stuff happens.
Me and Wendy in the show in May. We go.
Okay, you got the plug.
However, the video that you did, the Knucklist, that's great.
Okay, I'm glad you liked it, man.
That was great.
Go check it out because obviously you ain't seen it. Y'all would be real excited.
Yeah.
I have no excitement.
Yeah, I was waiting.
I don't know where they can find it, but you can.
I mean, you might want to put a link or something in the video.
I'll probably
drop a link in the video.
Hold on, edit cut, boom, it's there. All right, there.
Yes. Yo, I want a picture of Russell Willis and the family when I do that.
Okay. All right. Back to the Future etiquette. Boom. I like this. Boom. I like this.
Churchify the world. Churchify the world.
Churchify the world. That's where it's at. Okay. Boom. It's in there.
Cool.
All right. So petty peeve. Okay. So this a petty. You want to explain what a petty peeve is?
Man, I don't know if I want any parts of this.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you this.
So a petty peeve.
Okay.
So a petty peeve is something that like bothers you, but it's really petty. It's not that big a deal, but whatever. All right. So my petty peeve is if you pull the car in the garage, then close the garage, and it has an alarm on it, why are you still locking the doors on the car? That bothers me. If you send me to the car and it's in to get something out the car and it's in the garage that's shut and has an alarm on it and you still lock the doors, that bothers me. It bothers me to no end because I'm not bringing keys with me. I mean, I got to go walk back to wherever I was and get keys because the car is it's for security. I understand if it's outside, if we lived in the hood, all of that stuff. If that happens, great. Boom, lock the door. Make a church. Good. But it's in the house. It is inside the house. Okay. I digress.
Is your wife gonna watch it?
She definitely gonna watch it.
Is this about somebody?
Yeah,
specific?
Are we recording this? Oh my bad.
So you're upset that? So I mean, I don't understand it. Like, why wouldn't you lock the door?
But why would you lock it?
I've never had a garage, so I don't know. I don't know garage.
Okay,
I'm balling.
It's the safest place. You send your kids out to the garage sometimes just to play. I mean, that's a safe place. You don't ever worry about nobody breaking into your garage door to get your car. I mean, that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
For a Toyota Camry. Leave it unlocked. And the windows down.
I feel like you keep like it was disrespectful. I feel like that comment was disrespectful, but I don't know why it would be.
I'm on your side.
Okay, yeah.
What is happening here?
Listen,
I'm proving his point there.
There's some type of beef here. And it's all his side though. Like you so good. Like you are living your life. And you're so intelligent. You're so great. You have so much stuff going on. I don't know what he got going. But whatever it is, he's upset that you have that. Celebrate him, man.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, my fault. I'm wrong.
Why does he hate you? Why does he hate you?
Right? I get it. I'm wrong. My fault. Hey, listen.
I don't know.
I'm wrong. I apologize.
I don't know why you
I
hate you.
apologize.
Go ahead. I don't know. He hates you. I don't know.
I know people who they got their garage door, and they actually park their car in the garage and they leave their windows down just so they don't have that issue that you're talking about. So I didn't understand it when I was younger, but now it makes sense. I get it.
But it's not a bad habit to lock the doors or whatever, but what's inside? Like, why?
You said if we was in the hood, and we not in the hood.
Why?
So
It's not the hood. My bad, Joe. I'll ask. My bad. I'm gonna ask a question. It's not the hood.
All of KCK is not the hood, Los.
And that's our honest mistake. I didn't know there was like good parts and bad parts of KCK. I thought they were just all kind of like just summed up.
we got the legends.
Oh, we got the legends.
Now that's the good part. Okay.
Oh, this is real close to the legends.
I'm mad close to the legends. I'm mad close to the legends.
I'm asking a question, yo. Like real talk. And I'm sorry if I made
Man.
But this is nice. This is nice.
Petty peeve.
Petty peeve. Do you have one that you can come up with? Oh man.
Let me think. Petty peeve. I think my petty peeve is I hate when people, this is gonna be kind of work related. I hate when people call me. So like I work in a mail room, right? We ship stuff, we do stuff, right? I'll get phone calls all the time asking about, I just want to see if this was delivered. Okay, have you checked with your recipient to see if they got it?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I just wanted to check with you first. Have you tracked it? You have the tracking number. Yes, I have the tracking number. Have you tracked it to see if it's so delivered? No, I just wanted to check with you first. So you haven't done anything.
So
you haven't tried anything. You just called me to do.
So it's like I woke up. I did not go check the mail. I did not go see if there was a package at the front door.
No.
However, I just called and said, "Hey, is this package delivered?"
Yes.
I understand that.
And it just, like I said,
I'm
I'm in the customer service industry. I understand that. I'm here to help. So I will gladly track your package. But internally, I'm just like, why? Why did you not try?
Yeah, because this time that you're spending wasted my time, you could have done all of these things that I'm about to do.
Right, I'm not about to just magically make it appear, or I'm just going to call the 1-800 number like you.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go to the website with the tracking number, with the hyperlink that takes you to FedEx.com. I'm going to click that same hyperlink that you could have clicked.
And it's not like you're delivering the package personally.
No.
So it's not like I have it in my head. It's right here.
It's in California.
Yeah.
It's in California. It's like it's not in Kansas City. I can't do anything for you other than what you could have already done.
For yourself. I get that.
Yeah. So that's my petty peeve.
I get that. That makes sense. But yeah. Go ahead, Tre.
Petty peeves. I mean, hey, you know, how about those cops?
I don't think that's how you say that. How about bad boys?
What you gonna do?
No, man, petty peeves, bro. I don't know, man. I've been really trying to find something.
Yeah, I was grasping for straws.
Yeah,
I was
man.
just
I'm really
yeah.
cause honestly, man, I'm just staying away from stuff that I do hate. Right? I just get away from that stuff. Stuff
like
that I ain't digging, stuff that I ain't feeling. I really just don't go towards it, man. Other than that, people are just still being strange. People are people. So yeah, man, that's it.
Okay.
All right, I like that.
Okay.
My petty peeve, I'm jumping right into it. My petty peeve is this. It irks me when someone has a certain standard for you, but they don't follow that same thing. Like that's like a real big thing. And I'm talking about Trent. why did your phone just ding and you said to us to cut your phone off? I seen you look. I'm like, and see, as soon as I heard that, I said, thank you, Lord, for my petty peeve. Thank you, Lord, for my petty peeve. Bro, why is your phone dinging, bro? And then gonna try to look at me like if I heard or not.
Who's gonna ding in the middle of, bro? Who's gonna ding in the middle of?
He hates you. Like, bro, he said, hey,
He turned the sound on in the middle of mine.
Hey, bro, text me in 5 minutes. I'm trying to see something. Bro, I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it.
Okay.
Like, chill, bro. Like, that's my petty peeve. Hey, if you want me to do something, I'm about to cut my ringer on.
And that's the big thing.
Bring her on. Bring her on.
Oh, I'm losing control.
Bro,
of this podcast.
don't do that. Like, don't
I'm
do
losing
that.
control of this podcast.
What's the topics, man? You over here.
Oh man, let's get into this first topic before.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. Oh, the first topic was
Is? Thank you.
guilty until proven innocent. Right? I think that there are a lot of things like when you meet someone, right? We all get a first impression of them, good or bad.
Yeah.
And I think that it's difficult for somebody's perception of you to be changed once they make it, whether it's good or bad. But it's easier for a good perception to be changed than a bad. So if I meet, if you meet me for the first time and we have a good encounter, like, oh, that person's cool or whatever, he seemed to be good people, blah, blah, blah. The next time you see me, that's how you think of me. But if you meet me for the first time and we just don't get along, I'm being funny acting or whatever like that, then you're going to say, like, I don't know about this dude, whatever. And it's going to take multiple times of that person not acting that way towards you for you to say, okay, yeah, now we're different. So, in my mind, I'm thinking like, what are the some of the things that or the reasonings behind like this guilty till proven innocent stuff? I think 'cause especially, man, a lot of us work with people in our job, right?
You said robots.
Yeah, like we do a lot of customer service, a lot of stuff, or even with our or whatever. But think about even with our spouses, right? Like there are certain things like in relationships that we knowingly or unknowingly hold on to or have positioned people in certain lights and don't give them the grace to change those things.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Don't give them grace to change those things. So, example, let's take something recent, like the Tyreek Hill stuff, right? Tyreek Hill is known that he is a wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. Before he got drafted, he had a domestic dispute with his now fiance.
Mm-hmm.
That he pushed her down some steps or something like that.
Punched her and
she was pregnant.
Oh, he assaulted her.
Yeah, he assaulted her. So he punched his pregnant girlfriend at the time, right? And that's a big deal. Like that's a big deal. Now and him and his girlfriend, they have a child together, and they're fiance.
Oh,
right?
he made it.
The
Baby survived. Yeah.
The baby survived. Yeah.
That's good.
So, but now there is an investigation that is really nothing really come out yet, but it's this investigation because their 2-year-old, their 3-year-old son had his arm broke, and so now he's under investigation to see if has been any foul play and stuff like that involved. So there's many facets we can go with, but that's one. Like, how much of like that is guilty until proven innocent? Like, when we look at someone, how much do we look at like the things that you've done in your past?
I'm gonna say this. Let's just say we all went to high school together, right? Y'all went to high school together, and in high school, like, we was cool, but y'all knew that I was still like I was the thief. Like, I was the thief. If you need something, I'm gonna go grab it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna come through like that was my reputation for being a thief. We lose touch. We come back later and we catch up, and then all of a sudden like, hey, we throwing a barbecue at so and so crib. We come right there, and then some people like, man, I don't know if we invite him because he was a thief back in the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, that's not me anymore. You know what I'm saying? I have to understand that I played a part in how people perceive me. So, in turn with the Tyreek Hill thing, he has to understand that he played a part in how people gonna perceive him. Like, bro, you've hit your girlfriend, you've assaulted the baby before it was even born yet, and so now with this coming out, like, hey, bro, you gotta take this. Like, like the way people are looking at you now, like, bro, you added to that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is some of your fault of you doing it. You know what I'm saying? So when we play into people's like when our lives have given people a perceptive, like it's not, of course, like it's not all like we have to be honest and say, hey man, I didn't help the situation. I'm not that anymore, but I didn't help the situation. So I'm innocent, or I could be innocent, but I can understand why someone thinks I'm guilty. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand why people say, oh, he did this, whatever, because that's in his past.
I think it's hard for people to let go of good stuff about people also. I mean, like, if somebody was a good guy back in the day, or somebody made some great decisions or did some nice things, you will probably associate that with them. So you wouldn't associate any foul play with what they got. Basically, it's like in life in general, I mean, you're the people that you grow up admiring, you just realize that they are people who put themselves in different situations and made different decisions based off of those situations and who they are as individuals. So regardless if it's your mom, right, your dad, your pastor, R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, I mean, it's just like...
So there has been a plethora, let's say that. I don't know if plethora is the right one because it's maybe not that many, but there's been some recent like deaths that have happened that after they died and while they were living, they were very, respected and stuff like that. And then once they died, like some foul stuff came out about them, which will kind of push you in a tough position because, like, one, this person as one thing, and then it comes out like that they possibly did all this foul stuff.
Example?
Two, I can give an example, but two, like, this person still died, and now you still, but they're not here anymore. Example is there was a battle rapper who everyone who was respected in the battle rap community.
Yeah.
He died suddenly, and then come to find out that there may be some allegations of like child pornography and sexual assault against a child, and all this stuff happened, and he died like the day before he was supposed to go to court or whatever for it. So now people trying to figure out if there was some foul play involved and all this other stuff. But so even for myself, like I cried real tears for for the situation, and people were because at the end of the day somebody died, but I saw him in a good light, but you never know how what somebody does behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like it says the heart is deceitful and desperately wicked. If it can deceive you, it definitely can deceive other people. And so and that's for like that's on a crazy scale there. But for people that I just meet or people that I'm in a relationship with, it's hard for you to when you hear stuff like that, it's hard for you to trust people sometimes. It's hard for you to like man, I knew something was off about them because such and such happened, and then that makes me dig in deeper with negative stereotypes that you can have about people that you have relationships with, whether it be family members, whether it be wives, whether it be friends, whatever.
I mean, I think you gotta. I mean, as far as not trusting people, like you can only know what people show you. So in the situation you referenced, like I think when it happened, we were kind of all like kind of thrown off because it was a sudden pass, and then all this stuff comes out, and it complicates how you're supposed to look at this person's legacy, who this person was, and so on and so forth. And so there are people who are on certain ends of the spectrum who are like, this part of his life that I did not know is awful, it's terrible, it's horrendous. And I mean, I have to say if true, because he was never proven guilty. It looks awful, right? But then you have other people like, he don't exist no more, gone. You're right. And in each case, I have to look at each of them and say, you're right. Like I have my own internal compass. And so like what we talked about, you cool with Miles Davis? Miles Davis put his hands on women. You listen to Chris Brown? We all know what happened with Chris Brown, Rihanna. You listen to Bill Withers? Bill Withers, out here bad. James Brown. Like, you can keep going down the list of people, Roman Polanski, Woody Allen. Like, you can keep just naming people and keep going through scenarios where these people have been accused or it's documented. It's well documented, their history of transgressions. You have to make a conscious decision within yourself to go, no, I'm not going to rock with that. Or you have to say, I'm going to, I hate this whole separate the artist from the thing, but in that case, like in the case of R. Kelly, he's kind of singing about it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me, I'm going to separate the art from the action, because like they were one in how he was getting down. For me, like Bill Cosby was, like I read a Bill Cosby book and I was like 8, 9 year old on parenting. My dad had his old comedy tapes, so I would watch his old comedy. I watched the Cosby Show faithfully. So when all this stuff came out, it's like, yo, everybody can't be lying. Like everybody can't be lying. Someone has to be telling the truth. You don't get that many people coming up coordinated. Like I'm just not a conspiracy theorist in that way. Now maybe if you are, that's you. Yeah. But it's just like, so do I watch the Cosby Show anymore?
Yeah, it's weird for me because like I feel like that. I don't have a proper gauge or a specific set of rules to say, okay, this is what it takes for me to not listen to you. Exactly. Because I may watch an episode of the Cosby Show, but I'm definitely not stepping in the name of love anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's no rhyme or reason. There's no like template.
There's no reason why.
There's no template.
I'm gonna watch this and not step. Now I can't sing "I Believe I Can Fly" at the graduation no more.
Right.
Because.
But when little Rudy on the steps, dancing and singing, you know what I'm saying? You when you do
gotta do that. But R. Kelly, the difference is R. Kelly like straight up just like just never like nothing, just like no type of responsibility, like no type of anything, and it was like people that were children that were entrusted to him. So that in itself. You got a man like R. Kelly who's charismatic, talented, knows who he is, and then wants to be helpful to children. Okay? Now, when you are talking about people watching kids, 9 times out of 10, people is hoping that it's a woman and not men. I mean, these are the types of stereotypes and things that come about because of people who do take advantage of the power or take advantage of their position or take advantage of whatever. So then they look at me crazy or they look at you crazy when you the one with the kids all the time.
Now that's something. First of all, this entire segment like segued into ways that I didn't expect it to. But that's an interesting question that I think I wanted to bring up is that how do y'all feel about men like watching children? Because like, okay, a lot of times we just assume that like if even in churches, right? Like you take your kids to the children's church or whatever.
Man in the nursery, you look at
if it's a man, if it's a bunch of women in there, you good. But if it's a man in the nursery, I'm like, why you here? Like, should you be in the sound booth or whatever? Now there's a difference because I've seen husband and wife teams go and do it together or whatever. But like, I'm like, where your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, you single? Oh, why you here? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I've been the youth leader for various different age groups. I did middle school kids, I've done high school kids or whatever, and I've been a youth leader there. But you know, it's difficult sometimes as they get younger for me to put myself in situations where I'm like, if this could optically look a certain way, and even though I'm not, you know, on some predator stuff, like I have a daughter now, and I'm looking like, okay, she going to, you know, the children's church. If there's ladies in there, I don't think nothing of it. But if it's a guy, like it gives me pause. Like, but men should be in children's lives, though, right? Like men should be in children's lives. Like some of these children don't have male representation.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy that you even have to say that. Like, men should be.
But it's jacked up. Like, it's, I don't know if it's just because, like, it's like the pit bull effect, right? Not the rapper, but like, but it's like pit bulls.
Life for person.
Yeah, you want to, I don't
So you would have never got it.
Yeah,
You would have never got it.
I never got it.
Thank you.
But it's like the pit bull effect. I think that pit bulls have the stigma of being so dangerous, and they'll attack all the children, and you can't keep them around kids. But there's plenty of pet owners that have pit bulls that are loving and caring and all this other stuff. Now you do have to guard them to make sure, you know, that kids isn't, you know, doing stuff to whatever, but that doesn't lump all.
I think that's the opposite effect, though. I think it's a little opposite because I don't know. So pit bulls have this negative stereotype, right? And you hear, in my opinion, it's more cases that you see of bad pit bulls doing something with families attacking people than you hear about bad fathers doing something with their kids.
I disagree because I think it's the narrative, right? Because I think that even in the news is not going to report on, oh, it was a pack of pit bulls going down the street and, you know, all these kids was playing with them. It's a vicious attack by pit bull, you know, on third grader. Like, it's the narrative of what
it's like this. It's like, because there are about 80-90% white women that are the teachers, right, for our public school system. And a lot of them are pedophiles. But they are not getting lumped into. Yeah, there's a lot of.
I wasn't expecting that.
There's numerous cases where these women are abusing their power and abusing their positions as teachers and taking advantage of young boys, and nobody is grouping them. Like, oh, y'all white women only want to be teachers so that y'all can touch these kids. Nobody is making that a thing. But what you will do is, and I think it's this, bro. I think that is because men dog out women, and women have the kids. So it's like, let's go ahead. We got a negative connotation about these men because of what they did to us, not necessarily because of what they did to the kids. Because I do agree with you. Like, it ain't no big cases of men out here just doing horrible things to children. I mean, it's not no more at least. I mean, maybe in the 90s, 80s, there was a lot of crazy white men who was doing a whole bunch of crazy things to kids. But I mean, as far as like dads, I don't hear too many cases of that, honestly.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified that because I was like, the Catholic Church would like to have a word with you.
Dads.
I'm glad you clarified. I'm glad you clarified. I'm glad you clarified.
And that's my thing. So I'm saying in that instance, the men are not the pit bulls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that they want there is a narrative that pushes for and that says that men are the pit bulls, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm saying is I'm saying that we can't lump the men like they're like this is such a big thing going on when there's not cases to where you can go out and say like this is a big epidemic. You can make a case about I got the this thing on. You can make a case about pit bulls though. You can be like, hey man, these pit bulls are crazy. I done got chased by a pit bull.
Right.
Pit bull bit my auntie. You can do all that. You know what I'm saying? So that narrative fits. Like that fits. But the other one, it does not fit and it does not work unless you are believing in things other than evidence. Now, if you believe in things other than evidence, then I'm okay with that.
You sound like a man right now. First of all,
no, explain more. Like
for instance, let's just say that let's say A1, right? Let's just say A1. Let's say A1. Let's say A1 got beat up at the gym.
dang.
Yeah.
Let's say A1. Let's say A1 got into a fight at the gym, right?
I can believe it. Go ahead.
A1 got into a fight at the gym. Dude was technical. You know, A1 has a short temper when he plays sports.
Uh-huh.
So he got into a guy who got to the gym, right? Tre Cop comes in and was like, "Hey man, your boy A1 got his head bust wide open at the gym." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Damn, my dude, A1 got his head." I'm like, "Not my dude," you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, who I was there? I call one of my dudes, Reese. "Hey man, was you at the gym?" "Yeah, man, A1 got whooped on, man. I ain't see it, but I was on the outside. I was coming in, and it was already over, man. But I think A1 got his head busted." So I'm thinking like, dang, my dude got hands put on him. And so I'm believing all these other things instead of evidence. Mm-hmm. I have no evidence that A1 got beat up, but I'm believing other factors to give me a decision on what happened. I have encountered A1, "Hey man, did the dude whoop you? Yes or no?" You know what I'm saying? And then somebody that's there. No, these people are not there. Now if I say, "Hey, what's up, Trent? Did A1 get whooped?" Like, "Nah, man, he actually beat up dude." Mm-hmm. Then that's evidence, and that's like, "Hey man, like what happened? Boom, listen to you." But people believe other factors instead of evidence. Mm. And so if you're going off that narrative, then I totally get it. Because I totally get why people want to say these group of people do this. Because there's already a stigma. But the stigma is based off no evidence.
So how do we change narratives, right? Because there are two organizations that have the worst narratives. Mm-hmm. And that's the police department and the church.
And I will say this. Here's the thing. I don't have to change your narrative. Like, my job is not to change your narrative.
Yeah. My
job is to do me and do what I'm supposed to do correctly. So here's the thing. If I'm into the church and if I'm a pastor of a church and then it's time to talk about tithing and stuff, I'm gonna say, "You know what? I'm not gonna talk about tithing because that's what everybody think that we're gonna start talking about money and church is still money." let's let me not talk about tithing. Let's let me skip over that part. 6 months later, the lights get cut off in the church, and we can't, and we can't have church. We have a church outside because the lights are cut off. Because I don't talk about tithing. No one tithes, and no one pours into the church to make the church run.
Right.
And so it's not my. So I don't believe it's my job to you can't like. Here's the thing: you can't correct every single thing. You can't unchoke people. You can't unshoot people. You can't unbeat people.
Yeah.
The cops have already done this stuff.
Yeah.
So you can't undo that. So if I'm trying to change the narrative, if I'm trying to change something, like bro, we did that. And we have to live with that. Now my only task is to go forward and show you that I'm not that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you can't change you can't do that. Like you can't undo something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's for both of those institutions. One, I mean, I'm going against Catholic tradition, but they need to allow their priest to marry. So I've taken a class on kind of how that all went down, and it was just like it was politics, like why they can't do it. It was really some haters. But anyway, that's for another time, another segment. But I mean, I think for both of those institutions, like you said, you can't undo what's already been done. You do have that stigma. You do have this negative connotation attached to you. Only thing you can do going forward is one, try to be better, but deal with the stuff internally. Like y'all have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Like I can't, so for me personally, right? Like I don't have a natural fear of cops because I haven't had bad interactions with them. Look, I rode around for a good minute on bad tags, never got it. When I was finally a week away from getting my life turned around is when I finally got a ticket for it. Never took my car, never went to jail, none of that. So I did, but I know people who have had bad interactions with police. So who am I to tell you that your interaction is invalid? So from a police standpoint, they gotta fix their stuff internally. When someone's acting a fool, you gotta pull your guy to the side and say, "Hey, bro, you tripping? You wildin'." Their internal affairs of people, because every time this stuff happens, they click up, they link up, and they don't want to hear nothing, and they attack anyone because they know that they have the backing of, frankly, white people. They have the backing of white people who are going to back them up every time.
They have the backing of protocol. So listen, here's the thing. Protocol and policies, if followed, then you can't convict somebody for following protocol. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but some of those policies and protocols are put in place to allow for gray areas.
And I'm saying that's like, and to his point, what I'm saying, we have to look at those things and change those things because a lot of those things don't allow human factors. Like they don't are human things. So for instance, if I say, "Hey, freeze," put your hands up, and you're not doing that quickly. Hey man, they ask, "Hey, did you say freeze? Did you say put your hands up? Did you say show your hands? Check this list. Up, check. Oh, you follow protocol. Innocent.
Yeah, but the problem
not
is
guilty.
They can make that protocol say whatever they want at any.
No, it's like no, they can't because they have written protocol. It's written protocol.
Man, I don't know, bro.
Listen, bro.
I like this.
They check boxes.
Tre Cop has been so quiet.
It's gotta happen from the inside, bro. Like we can't.
The
make that
policies
happen.
it have from the inside. Those things need to change. They shouldn't be able to do checklists. I follow this and be okay and get off on stuff. But I'm saying that's the case. That's what's happening. Why do you think all these people are not getting convicted? Because they're following protocol. The guy ran. My life was in danger.
But that's
a lady shot and killed somebody because she was afraid of her life. Listen, bro. That's what they're hiding behind. How do you think these people are getting off? How are they getting off? They follow protocol, bro. They're following what's written. They're doing these things, and it's checking off. So that's why they can. How did the Zimmerman get off?
Yeah,
well, that had to do with more about the prosecution than it did the.
Well, that was a big part because they should have never.
They overcharged.
But I'm saying another thing is like you have to like if you stand your ground, there has to be certain things to happen to stand your ground. Once you did those things that allow for stand your ground, then you can get off on murder or kill someone. So I'm saying these people get off on this stuff because these policies. So we have to if you want something changed, then change this checklist that they're just checking off and getting away with stuff.
Yeah. I kind of just let it rock because it's interesting. But we wasn't here to discuss like gun laws, but
or the police.
Or the police. I just think that it's interesting that it's difficult for no matter what organization, personally, a group of people or whatever, once these negative stereotypes have been formed, then they're kind of just solidified. So I was the discussion that I was curious about having is how do we change those stereotypes personally, those stereotypes and within relationships, the way that we view other people, the way that we view different organizations, because I can make it personal too, like or relationships. Like I think that there is like I have a ex in my past that like she did something like the way that there were some things that I believe about her because the way things ended that I don't have any. I'm a whole married. I got 4 kids. I don't have any. But if I see her,
she the one that got away.
No, definitely no. Absolutely not.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
Future cut. Trey is now home.
Quick edit. Trey in the basement. Quick edit. Trey live with Trey. Quick edit. I'm under I-35.
They gotta like Trey on that.
You go ahead.
I get what you're saying. I think that everything starts from the inside. I think that if everybody starts minding their own business and paying attention to themselves, paying attention to their lives, paying attention to their own fulfillment, their own joy, their own happiness, whatever that looks like, their own peace, then everybody, like, it's not going to matter. Like, it's not going to, I'm not going to be judging you based off of the past, anything. I'm probably going to be judging you based off of myself. I'm probably going to be projecting, because that's what a lot of people do anyway, based off of their own experiences, their own ideas, their own thoughts. So it's like, if you're minding your business and if you're in a good place, you're probably not going to assume the worst about everybody or the worst about anybody. I know some people who worship Donald Trump, but they know that everything that he got going on is bull crap, but it's like, nah, but he's just living his life though. Like he's just here doing what he wants to do, and we all should probably be, doing what we want to do. So if we want to see kids safe, then we should do our part in keeping kids safe. And if we want to see men step up and this and that, then we got to do our part. Challenge a man, tell a man, say something to a man, say something to a little boy while he's still a boy. Because he's going to become a man. I mean, say something. Give him something. Give him some books. I mean, there are so many things that we can do, but I believe that it starts with us.
Man, I feel like this conversation just needs to be had again, because it went in so many directions that I wasn't necessarily prepared for today. But I definitely want to have all y'all back because I think the topic about police, I in my head, I really think that there's two big issues, right? The church and the police that a lot of people are dealing with, and I think a lot of them, they both have similar issues and have similar solutions. But I digress.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man,
I think to talk about that, man.
I mean, like to jump on Tre's point though, man. Like I do believe that like you said, it starts from within. Like I had some conversations with some homies about, sometimes we focus so much on the negative, and that's I think that's where social media's influence comes in. We love other people's drama, we love mess, and sometimes we need to just say, okay, I'm not gonna worry about what my neighbor's doing, what I'm doing. What am I doing? What am I doing to better myself, to better my family, to better my community, and then surround myself with like-minded individuals and be like, okay, this is a problem. Understand that we can't change the world, right? In one moment, one day, 1 week. However, it's just continued progression. It's just continued. Yeah, you're going to have setbacks. Yeah, things are going to happen that slow you down, but we will not stop until we reach our goal.
Go ahead.
I was gonna do an advertisement, so I'm gonna just wait.
No, go ahead. We can stop. That's a good stopping point. Go ahead. Do your advertisement.
Black Movie Marathon will be starting June 4th at Just Off Broadway Theater. Everybody is invited to Black Movie Marathon. There will be 5 different dates. It's happening every Tuesday. The first 3 Tuesdays in June and the first 2 Tuesdays. Oh, that's funny to say. The first 2 Tuesdays in July. So make sure that y'all come out. We got movies like Get Out, Moonlight, Dreamgirls, School Days, Roll Bounce, Set It Off. We got movies like that we're going to be playing, that we're going to be showing out in public. Y'all can come out, bring y'all blankets. The movies are free to watch with us. We're going to have a theater set up also. Y'all can come out, bring the family, have a good time.
Lawn chairs and all that.
Yeah, bring that out.
Y'all showing Moonlight in public?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just say this and then we'll move on because it's so good. Don't watch a movie that you don't know what it's about just because it's supposed to get some Oscar buzz. It's like, so if you put on a movie that you have no idea what it's about, but just because it was supposed to get some Oscar buzz, you watch it, you will be surprised in ways you wasn't ready for.
Sure enough.
So shout out to Moonlight. Jeez.
Google.
Yeah, definitely didn't do that. So we're about to get into this article real quick. The title of it is called Extra Extra.
Wait a minute, he about to read.
Yikes!
I'm gonna read it. Then we gonna get into it.
That's why he didn't send the link.
That's why he didn't send the link.
It says, I'm a fan of books, not a big newspaper guy. Books are personal to me. Books will get you involved. They get people to bond with characters and make you think. They can also make a person evaluate their life. Books can upset people. After finishing a good book, I like to put it on the shelf like a trophy. It shows my appreciation for the investment I've just made in reading the books. However, newspapers they're just a quick read. People, I'm kind of paraphrasing, right? But they're like a quick read. People go to their favorite sections, read it, and when they're done with the newspaper, they discard it. There's no investment. People are just reading newspapers to get information. In the same way, there are people that really invest in your life. People that see the value that the person and not just the information that they happen to carry with them. Be leery of those that value the information more than the people. Because one thing that I've come to realize, people love information. I mean, they love it. The problem is they start to think, the problem is that we start to think it's us that the people really care about. So when they come to talk to us, they're not there for us. They're there for the information. Now there's more about the article. It's a little blog that someone does every now and then. It's a pretty good read. The author is actually pretty talented. I would never tell them that to their face, but the author is actually really talented. You should check it out. It's just called Just My Thoughts is the title of the blog, and the author is DaLosFactor 816 is the author. But I was reading.
Now I know why I'm on the show.
Yeah.
I know why I was asked to be on the show. Not because we're friends or anything, because he wants to talk about the article. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, you thought we had an actual
No.
Is this a newspaper? Is this one of those
No,
situations?
so that's why it was called newspaper. But I actually, all jokes aside, I really enjoy these little blogs you be doing. First of all, if you haven't experienced Carlos's keto conversations on Facebook, you are missing out in life. Your life is missing. It needs to be enriched by these conversations. So check that out. But these blogs that you put out are actually really, really good. And this one in particular just catch my eye. I'm always an analogy guy. Every time I see something, I always see something, pictures and stuff like that. So when I read this one, man, this one just resonated with me a lot because I've been going through, I had just got done listening to the sermon from Michael Todd talking about fans, followers, and friends. And that everybody has one of these three categories, and we are in one of these three categories in someone's life. And it's not a good or a bad thing, but you just have to realize it is for what it is. So anyway, with that being said, I am trying to be better at relationships that I form outside of my marriage. Because me and my wife, we see each other all the time. I got kids. Like I figure like I'm on daddy duty all the time. But sometimes my what do they call extended relationships or whatever aren't always like as tight as you would like them to be. So man, I'm trying to do a better job of that. And so this was just an interesting perspective. I would encourage all of you guys to go to DaLosFactor816.blogspot.com and check out the full article. It's called Extra Extra. Check it out when you get a chance. Some thoughts.
Yeah, so I wrote that in time now. No man, like real talk though. So it's just I was like, in all honesty, I was going through. That was after I got a divorce. And it was a time that there were people hitting me up for information, and people who I don't even talk to like that. You know what I'm saying? And I got angry, and I wanted to come at them a certain way, but I was able to talk about that with friends and stuff, and then were able to respond in a better way. But it was just like, I have to understand that these people are not trying to come in my life not for my betterment at all. Like, they're not here for my betterment. They're here for information. Because if they were in my life for my betterment, they would have been they're already in my life. Right. You see what I'm saying? And so, because they have had that opportunity. And so these people want information. And they want information about this just because people get information to either internalize it and keep it, or to spew it out. Like, that's what you do with information. You keep it or you spew it out. You know what I'm saying? And I said that my information is not for you to internalize or for you to give other people. It's my information. And so I'm not going to give you what you're coming for. You know what I'm saying? Because people that are around me know my situation. And people are close to me know my situation. And I don't have to talk to them about that because they've already invested in my life.
But do you think that that both type of people are necessary? Because I think that as I've been reading this, like I feel like that I've been like I like investing in people, right? Yeah. Like I think that most meaningful conversations, most meaningful encounters are people that you build genuine relationships with. Yeah. Right. But I do also think that there is something to be gained by just listening to other people talk and gaining information, but not like. But I guess it's all about the information that you're trying to get out of that person, right? Yeah. Because I think that if someone is in a position that I want to get to, I may not necessarily want for you to be my mentor and like spend all the time at your house and all this other stuff, but I'm coming to get all the wisdom and all the knowledge and all the advice that I can get, and then go and apply that to my life versus like because that's different than Tre, bro. I heard something happened the other day at your job. Like, what happened? Oh, such and such still there? Are they not working? Like, there's a difference between me just trying to figure out like what's happening in his personal. You got kicked out the house or whatever. Like, it's different than that.
Yeah.
For me. So
and like you have to know situations. For instance, like for instance, like in my situation, I don't tell other people's business or information. So for instance, if I tell you my stuff, I'm indirectly telling someone else's stuff because it involves two people, and I don't know how that other person has set up and what they got going. So if I tell you something, then that's out there for you to spur out. What you spur out, then that person talks to this person about something that indirectly came from me. You see what I'm saying? And that's just too much for me. I don't like that. So we could have a conversation. You could be a new person come to you, hey, what happened with this, blah blah blah, and it may help you or whatever. But my information or my experiences is not for you to do that. We can talk in general, but you don't have to know my details. Don't ask for my details when I'm not cool with you like that. And that's a me thing. Yeah. So if I'm not cool with you like that, don't ask for my details. Now if we're talking about something and I may share with you things, but I won't give you details about something that's not my business to tell because it's not my business alone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So and that's a me thing. And that's a me thing. That's something that because I want somebody else to do that with my stuff. You know what I'm saying? But we just gotta be careful about stuff like that because we may have these conversations like hey like me and Tre Cop we talking about hey man marriage is hard we want blah 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 and stuff like that right. And then Tre Cop was like, yeah, man, I was going through this, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, man, I'm kind of going through the same stuff, blah, blah. But I'm not, and everything, we can help each other, we can do stuff. But there's a thing to where I don't have to tell him my details, my intimate details, and you don't got to tell me his, and we can still build each other up and get on.
You get the point.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can still build with each other and do that. Yeah. Man, and I'm just saying, like, people come to you like, hey, man, what happened? We didn't work out.
I think
like that's
but they want to know.
Yeah.
Well, why? Like, what was the breakdown? What happened?
Yeah.
What was the start of it?
What she said though?
Right. Yeah.
What she called you? She called your mama what? Like
it's all that stuff, and it's just like that's just not what I'm here for. Because I'm gonna tell you,
he must have cheated.
I'm gonna tell you like straight up, man. Because here's the thing: most of the people that come to you for information, they already have a piece of it.
Exactly.
So
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you are there for their confirmation.
You got to fill in the gaps.
You know what I'm saying?
The story.
They're like, oh,
they hopped in the movie.
So broke up.
That's hilarious.
So where? Okay, I'm gonna
I did see him over there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the person is coming off. They're not even coming off 100.
Yeah.
They coming off shoot straight up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they already have
that's a whole nother show too. We need to talk about Christian husbands splitting and divorcing and all that stuff because we don't know how to properly do it sometimes. So I feel like it's a discussion that black men ain't having at churches too much.
Put that in there.
And I'm good. Like I said, I'm good to having any conversations that's a conversation. And that's not a Q&A. I'm not good with Q&As. I'm good with
conversations. The specifics.
Yeah. I'm good with conversations, and I'm never going to tell another person's business.
I think that this is probably the best time of any to tell you to let you know that's why I brought you here. I was just hoping you would slip up and just tell all your
Yeah.
I got a piece of the story. I was hoping to get all it, but two things. I think that I had to catch myself because people do come to you and well, not everybody, but sometimes people just come to you and just tell you stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, Dad, whatever. And if that happens enough, like you'll be encouraging different people and different stuff. Yeah. And it's you have to be mindful not to mix a story with someone else's story and then tell somebody something that you wasn't supposed to tell them.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
You sound like Trent. Oh.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because
you have all this information. Like, listen, you have all this stuff. And when you're talking, you're jumbling through information in your mind. You're jumbling through things. And then I say, yeah, man. Yeah, dude had like two or three wives, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he had his main wife, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, not Mike, I mean Trent. But
yeah.
Like, oh, Trent had that? He out there now.
Yeah,
you can't unsay something.
You know what I'm saying?
I love them conversations. I be sitting listening like I'm gonna go be quiet.
I used to go with my papa all the time. He was a pastor, and I would go with him all the time. And sometimes I'm just sitting there, and I will absorb a conversation that wasn't meant for me at all. And then I have to be mindful, like that they wasn't talking to me. That didn't have anything to do with me. And even though I am trying to maybe encourage you in the right way, or to let you know that, hey, like other people have gone through this or whatever, not to say some stuff that not only was I not supposed to know, but I didn't need to share this. So I think there's a fine line between like being transparent with somebody and telling all the business. Like, I think some stuff is like internal family stuff, and some stuff is external. Like, I do think that you should have at least one person that you can tell everything to, like all the details, and be able to like know that when I say that, like it doesn't leave you. And that's difficult, especially if that person burns you and then they whatever. But I do think that it's healthy if you have that person, but that should only be like one or two people.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, was that it's especially for men, right? Like, we internalize so much stuff and we carry so much stuff, and we never look to talk to someone about it. That like we might end up wrecking something that could have been easily fixable. Or we end up fixing it, but along the way we done, tore up all this other stuff that got to go back and be repaired along the way, because we're trying to do it ourselves. We feel like, okay, I got this. You got this. You giving yourself that pep talk. You trying to push yourself and not have and surround yourself with other brothers that, like you said, one or two, you don't need like 10, 15, 20 of them, but get two brothers around you that you can go to and be like, yo, this is what's popping. This is what's going on. This is what I got going on in my life. And kind of random. Can you imagine the lives that psychologists and psychiatrists lead though? Because they got to talk to somebody. They got to be talking to somebody. I mean, because you can't be carrying all these other people's burdens and you just like sleeping well.
I'm sure they have I think they have like a psychologist have like people that they go to that's within their field that's higher up or something, that they can help unpack stuff.
Yeah, I think psychologists have to have a psychologist.
Pastors, because they the ones who be.
They get everything.
Yeah, like.
And it's and shout out to 83. Like I've heard him
people, pastors and people that you go. Yeah,
I've heard him talk about how like it's such a lonely road. I mean, because like you said, who are you talking to? Yeah, of course we got God, we got the Lord, but who physically are you able to kind of get the weight off of you while you're pouring into other people?
And this is why I am. It's mind-boggling to me that people that actively pursue the pastorate, like, I think that's a calling. Like, if you're not called to be a pastor, it's mind blowing to me to say, yeah, sign me up to be a pastor, because now you are putting yourself in a position that maybe you're not equipped or qualified to be in, and to deal with people's issues, and that you may not be equipped to handle. And even if you are called to lead and pastor and shepherd, I'm praying that God is giving you the grace or the wisdom to be around wise counsel, that when the congregation is bringing you all of the problems, and people are divulging stuff that you would have never thought that that you would have had to deal with. Like, how do you, like, I just think about in my brain, like, there are certain topics or whatever that I don't know if I would be able to counsel someone through. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some stuff that, like, I'm dealing with X, Y, and Z. Like, bro, I don't even know where to start to even, like, because after pray and ask God, Jesus for help, it's only going to go so far. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I have to give after that? So I think that's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, I think that 99.9% of the people in the world can benefit with having a conversation with someone who is trained to have a conversation.
There it is.
Like a counselor.
You know what I'm saying? Like
psychiatrist.
it's there. We can have a conversation. We can talk through stuff. But having a conversation with somebody who is trained to have a conversation with you and know how to help you have a conversation, like, that's something that's like that. Like everyone should like needs that.